Good morning.
Good morning is exactly right, Abby.
Another Monday morning, yes.
Yeah, wow. So I was been thinking a lot about each new Monday. What has changed? What's changing? What's better? What's more scary? You know how it's like week by week, everything is shifting so radically and so fast now. It's just phenomenal to me. And so that I was been playing a lot, and we had a great conversation about this with our national team on our conference call about what does it mean to actually be willing to embrace the unknown and to live into the unknown, right? I mean, it's not something we're conditioned for in Western civilization at all. It's like we want certainty really badly, and that's fine. We get to want that. That's a human feeling. It's a part of our humanness to want that certainty, and it also creates quite a bit of suffering since there is no certainty, right? So how do we find the balance in that story, right? And we were talking a lot about what happens is once you actually move into the unknown, you tap into this source of wisdom that is huge, that it impacts every aspect of your life. It opens up all kinds of avenues. You see new pathways. We had a wonderful person at our summer retreat who created in her embracing of the unknown a pathway ahead that she said was glittering and sparkling, a glittering and sparkling pathway ahead, which really I've just been holding on to that image as we could all have a glittering, sparkling pathway ahead, right? And the trick is it's easy enough to talk about it, right? But unless we get it in our bodies, it doesn't really land in a way that we can begin to live into it, you know? So we're back to flow, right? We're back to fluids. We're back to what does it mean to allow flow in your body, flow in your life, flow in relationship to the universe, flow in relationship to each other. We had experiences at summer retreat where we had to find that flow, that ability to stay in loving, accept. Well, we lost our connection. Isn't that interesting when we're talking about flow?
We lost our connection.
But here we are, back and happy
again.
to be flowing with you. So yeah, the magic of getting into that letting go of control in your bodily fluids and your bodily movements so that you actually drop into letting the body lead, letting the fluids of the body move you through the space, move you through your life, move you through the morning, you know. And so we're just going to do a little of that before we share a little about. You can think while you're flowing and moving with your fluids, and Abby will show you, as she always does. Think about what is it you would like to put in flow that you've got hold of like this, or that you're trying to make happen, or that you're sure ought to be different, or that makes you really feel upset, you know, that's sort of buttoning you down. And at that point, everything is stopped, right? The cells stop moving the fluids through. Everything just turns into a place of no creativity, no possibilities, no hopefulness, right? So if we begin to breathe and move and let the fluids move, then we have a chance at least to restore out of fear into a place of deep loving of self, knowing your own beautiful wisdom. Yeah, Abby, that's beautiful. She's already got her hands on her heart. So start there with your breath like we always do, right there in your heart. And it really is breathing in through your heart and out through your heart, really letting your breath drop there under your hands and feeling the relief as you do that. The whole system begins to come into coherence. Suddenly you know who you are in a way you didn't just a minute before, just a second before. The minute your hands go to your heart, now you're beginning to drop into flow. And now there's a gateway to the unknown through the heart. Yeah, that's the gateway. So just allow that gateway to rest, to breathe, to send you some good neurotransmitters, because when you touch your heart, that's what happens. Yeah. And then on your own time, in your own breath, just begin to move however you want to move, with the sense of your water on land, right? We've talked about that before. You're just a fluidy being that's on land. There's no bones, there's no muscles. It's all just fluid. It's like your water leads. Your water is moving and flowing, and feel it going down into your toes and up in the back of your neck and behind your eyes and around your ears. I mean, just the whole being of your whole being is just moving water. And you can move through the room as water, right? So what happens is, if you have a water dance and you don't even have a sense of your physical being for this moment, you're just water. You're just flowing water. And sometimes it helps to imagine water, imagine rivers or lakes or oceans or whatever helps you just become water. Flowing. Water flows all down around. It goes left and right and around the rocks and over things. And it's a watery way, right? It's a very varied pathway. And if it comes up against an obstacle, it just goes around it. It heads on down to the ocean, right? Nothing can really stop water. It seems like nothing can really stop us when our fluids are guiding, when our fluids are leading us. So I'm just going to be quiet for a minute so you can just drop a little deeper into your fluid body and see what kind of rest or relief or breath or quietness or peacefulness can emerge as your waters lead and you follow them every place they want to go. They might go fast or slow or down or up or left or right or in circles. It doesn't matter. The water will tell you where it wants to go, and your job is to follow that flow and see where it takes you into the unknown, right? Right into what wants to happen now. What wants to happen next? What wants to happen next? What wants to happen next, from one moment to the next. Yeah, beautiful. So enter a different state, a state where you're not in the same kind of relationship to your physical body. When you let the flow, when you let the fluids begin to lead. And while you're there moving and breathing and allowing, just put something you'd like to let go of right into that fluid dance and just dance it right out. Send it over the mountain, send it down to the ocean, or just let it float away in the waters of the earth. Yeah. What is it you would like to just release to the unknown, so that we're not trying to take charge. Instead, we're allowing what needs to move to move. And from that place, we come forward with very creative action. It's not like we just become fluidy nothings, right? We become fluidy creators. The creators of flow, the creators of new possibilities all around us. And we need that right now, right? We need some new possibilities in this time that we're in. Yeah. I'm just going to let you dance that through for another moment or two. Beautiful. Yeah, maybe there's another thing as you're finishing this exploration. One more thing you'd like to just put right into that fluid flow and let it roll right on out. put it right in the rivers of life, so that we're actually swimming in the river that we're in, instead of trying to get into another river, one that isn't there. Yeah, very slowly, as you see Abby doing, just winding that exploration down and breathing, resting, releasing. And maybe your hands come back to your heart to close, and resting there in that unknown, and let your heart give you some energy, some love, some words, some guidance, some surround, whatever. Your heart is always talking to you one way or the other, especially energetically. Yeah, blinking your eyes open and coming back into the room you're in, and just checking in, scanning your body. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you feeling?
Oh, I
Abby?
feel ready to flow through the week. That was beautiful. Thank you. Yeah.
What came up for you that wanted to float down the river?
I had a couple interactions these last couple of weeks where it didn't go well, and I felt really icky about it, right? And I was really worried about what the other person thought of me after those interactions.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's like I couldn't, until I went to that person and kind of cleaned it up and found a good resolution or a good space for both of us about it. I was just in this control, like, oh no, what are they going to think of me? Oh no, they think I'm a bad person. Oh no. And I just could not let go of, I guess, maybe that fear of what I thought this person thought of me. And it wasn't until I went back and cleaned it up that I was like, finally found that, that relief.
Yeah.
So I think that was what I was playing with, like letting go of worrying what others were thinking of me.
Wow. That's so profound, because that's one of the places we have zero control.
Exactly.
But we certainly do try,
We
don't
do, yes.
Well, I was thinking about while we were at summer retreat, I had this giant flood in the basement, and they had to tear up the tiles and tear up the driveway and replace pipes, and just, total destruction story. And just, at the beginning, just basically freaking out. This is going to cost so much, and what's going to happen, and how bad is it going to be, and no flow at all, and feeling like a victim, and why is this happening to me? All of that stuff, and it's like, as soon as I just began, because we were there in this beautiful environment, moving and breathing together, to just go, it's not my body, it's not my children's bodies, it's not my grandchildren's bodies, it's just plumbing. And I'll just talk about flow, right? Water flowing into the basement. It's like, we're back.
Talk about flow.
Yeah, we're having a little trouble with flow with our internet this morning, so maybe it was supposed to pause there.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, so thinking this week, where am I pulling into that contracted space so my fluids can no longer release into my body, worrying about my kids, or worrying about my money, or worrying about other people's problems, and releasing that into the fluid body, letting the fluids move me, dancing the fluids, breathing the fluids, and then seeing where that takes me. What is the message? What do the fluids have to tell me? So, one of the things that really came through for me was it is absolutely not possible to know where anything is going ever.
Yeah.
It's like it is possible to let my thoughts, my energies, my self-love, my sense of, of the earth, to open that up to positive vibrations. And then what will happen is still unknown, but at least I'm vibrating up here at that positive energy level, not down there in the, oh, this is so awful, but up in that sense of, okay, this will be okay. I trust the universe. I trust myself. I trust my friends. I trust my network, and mainly I stay in alignment with the universal knowing. And then the flow is restored and answers come, possibilities come, directions to go come, ways to view something change, perception changes, right?
No, it's so true. And I think the only other thing I would add is I always remind myself to give myself grace, because when I get into that contracted place, I'll be like, why can't I find my flow? Why can't I get back there? And I get so angry at myself. And it's, just give myself some grace. And as soon as I give myself that grace, I'm finding my flow again.
Wow, that's so big, because that's probably the most important thing, is as you begin to criticize yourself, to turn towards the fear, turn towards the contraction, and love it with all your heart. You know? Say, okay, I hear you, honey. Why are you contracted? What do you need? What would give you some sense of safety? What would be, how could I love me enough that I could move back into flow? And you really can just start moving and dancing in the room to music and flowing in your body, and without ever going through cognitive information, you can restore your body to a sense of well-being. It's such a magical thing. Yeah, move, breathe, dance. Here we are. So have a fabulous week, and we will see you next week. Hopefully we'll have a better connection next week. All right. Love you all. Take care.